Welcome to Star Wars Action News, helping Star Wars collectors collect better.
The first figure we have here, figure 15. It's hard to believe that we're still at such a low number since the last Force Friday, but our 15th figure, Jango Fett.
Kind of out from nowhere. I guess he has some dedicated fans, doesn't he?
I'm going to give him credit for still doing prequels because honestly, it feels like the prequels, we don't want to talk about it, but we're just going to just move on and start the healing.
Well, Jango Fett, he's still cool no matter where he came from.
Yeah, I mean, I love the prequels. When we were talking about the figure arts, half the figures I own are prequel figures. So, Jango Fett, I don't know that he ever got his due, but...
Did he have a due?
Yes, he had a due.
Okay.
He did the due.
He was extreme.
But I'm going to just say right now, I often, and I will later this show, give Hasbro some guff about his human likenesses, but this is a really spot-on Tamura Morrison head.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, wow.
They nailed the sculpt here for sure.
I mean, just overall, the aesthetic of this figure, from the silver to the armor, and unlike Phasma, his was never reflective. So I think they got the silver right here. It's nice and shiny. His face, they didn't do that silly painted-on scar stuff they did in the 3 3/4 inch line in 2002. Do you remember that, where they, like, paint a red stripe and call it a scar?
Yeah. That's ridiculous.
And they got the dent in the helmet, the guns. This is just a good-looking figure.
Now, I was going to ask you about that dent. Is that dent meant to be there, or is that from this getting put into the packaging and then deformed?
Nope. If you look at the Geonosis Arena, Jango Fett has a dent right in that location.
All right. That makes me feel a little bit better because I have a couple of these and both of them have a dent right there. I'm like, now, is this just bad packaging or is it supposed to be there?
I've seen a lot of bad packaging in my life, Justin, but I've never seen one that dented a figure. Bent a lightsaber or a gun a few times, but never a big dent.
Bent this gun, in fact, as it's kind of droopy.
Yeah. I do like the way the helmet fits right on the head nicely. It fits nice and snug, and it doesn't look oversized for a removable helmet, nor does his head look too small when you take it off. They did a good job with the scale.
I disagree with you because I was looking at it before I knew it was a removable helmet. I was like, oh, that helmet's awful large. What's going on under there? I think it's a little big.
Let me split the difference and say, I think it's about as good as they can do if they don't want to do swappable heads. But man, that helmet, and on FN 2187, it is a snug fit that makes me worry about if you, over time, put the helmet on and off, maybe paint wear, maybe even wearing down the nose of the figure.
Oh, yeah. Luckily, he's cast in skin color plastic there, so you're not going to wear any paint off of there.
He's not going to look like the Lincoln Monument at Lincoln's tomb where everybody rubs the paint off the nose.
No, but you might make a bald spot on the back of his head, so that's where you might want to be concerned.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say you guys might be concerned about that as well.
Now, one thing I've always complimented the Black Series on is they try to give you the ultimate figure. You know, if they give us a Darth Maul, they're going to give us a Darth Maul that's Tatooine cloaked Darth Maul, Final Duel Darth Maul. They're not going to try to double dip because they're changing an accessory or two. With Jango Fett, they only gave us the one backpack. They didn't give us the big missile firing backpack.
Yeah, I thought about that, and then I guess the customizer me said, well, if I had to, I could always give him Boba Fett's and repaint it. So that accessory is out there and it exists. I'm kind of glad we got the different one here. But it would have been nice to get both, since they have the mold.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how they would have fitted in the bubble, but it's like the first time I feel that if they were going to give us every accessory, they'd have to double dip.
Now, speaking of the backpack, I like what they did here as far as fitting it in with 3 pegs rather than just one, because it keeps it in place. It almost makes it look like the straps are there on purpose to keep it in there.
No, that's very good, because I've had so many backpacks and things like that where, you know, they're at a 20-degree angle or something, and this makes sure that it is on exactly as it should be. If we're going to talk about the sculpts and everything, though, my one minor complaint is that all the straps, and I'm glad they put them there, but there's straps on the elbows that are like wires that go to his gauntlets, and straps around the leg because he's a gunslinger and has the belt with the dual holsters. It does a little bit impede some of the posability. There's a lot of range, more than I'd expect, but you got a double hinged elbow here and you're not going to be able to use it.
I don't know if it's double hinged. It might just be ball jointed. But yeah, that's the problem I'm going to have with a lot of the Star Wars 6-inch figures is they don't give us a lot of elbow joints. So you don't get very good posability with a lot of the arms.
I guess I got confused. It's got like a bicep swivel a 1/4 inch above the elbow. And so I just thought that was all elbow movement.
Yeah, that's a strange thing to do here. They did it with Boba Fett, I believe, and here with Jango. But yeah, it's... yeah, I guess my only problem with it, like I said, is you can't even make really a 45-degree angle.
I can do about a 90-degree.
Are we arguing arithmetic?
Do you want his arm to be acute?
I think it's nice to be able to have that option. A double-hinged elbow would give you that option.
True. I do agree that some of this does limit the posability. He stands really well, though, and I can still get some great shots out of him. I can kind of recreate. His neck doesn't tilt much, but the helmet does. So you can kind of turn the head up and down that way and recreate some of the flying shots from the battle on Kamino.
Yeah, if you don't have his helmet on, you get some great range of motion, but that helmet does definitely stop quite a bit of it.
And one final compliment, the paint job on this is just awesome. I love the weathering and the wash given to the armor. Really kind of makes it look a little bit like it's seen some action.
I agree. I think this might be, despite the larger helmet, the best Jango Fett figure we've gotten.
I don't know that it has a lot of competition.
No.
I'm digging into a little bit of detail on his boots. They even gave him silver highlights around his soles.
Yeah, my biggest complaint is that he's got limp guns because of how cheap the plastic is they use and how they were in the bubble. But beyond limp guns, it is pretty close to a definitive Jango Fett.
Yep, and those guns will probably straighten out over time. I've had mine open for a while now, and they were bent when I got them, but now neither one of them look wonky at all.
Thanks for watching this video. You can see full episodes of Star Wars Action News with more collecting news and reviews at swactionnews.com. We also have thousands of toy and collectible photos in our photo gallery. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. May the pegs be stocked and the Force be with you.